Hello friends, very good morning and welcome to my channel Study and Grow. Today we are going to discuss a poem written by Sitanshu S.S. Chandra called Orpheus. Let's begin. The poem makes use of the Greek myth of Orpheus to depict main predicament in the modern world. He has used the Greek mythological character Orpheus to depict utterly negative emotions of men, quite contrary to what Orpheus stands for. In the Greek myth, Orpheus lost his beloved, regained her with a condition, and lost again her. In the modern Gujarati poem Orpheus, a similar loss, a similar journey, and a similar hero are narrated, and yet they are different. The poem is apparently a lyric song, which upon a closer look turns out to be both anti-lyrical and anti-song. Many units of lyricality of the original story have been replaced in the poem with their opposites. For example, the melodious magical music of Orpheus is replaced with the shrill cries of pain of the eagles in the first two lines of the poem. The poem becomes a travelogue of two kinds. It gives a narrative of the Orphic mythic journey from the land of living to the land of dead and back. It also depicts the modern man's eagle's wandering, absurd, laughable, tragic comic. The poem Orpheus thus moves from myth to modernity. The last two stanzas narrate how the god of hates gives the Orphic eagles a boon. The beloved is yours, but do not look behind. In this, the myth and the poem agree, but both the boon and the condition are dwarfed by the human condition of the modern man. Orpheus was the son of Calliope, a charming young man from Greek epic poetry who loved to play a magic lyre. His music enchanted birds and beasts, flowers and trees, rocks and rivers. It is said that even stones gathered around him to listen to the music and danced with joy. Orpheus was madly in love with a wood nymph called Eurydice. Another man by the name Aristeus was also in love with her. On the day of Eurydice's wedding, Aristeus chased her. She ran for her life. On the way, she stumbled upon a snake. The angry snake stung her and she died instantaneously. Orpheus was devastated. He followed her to Hades, the abode of departed spirits, the underworld. He wanted his beloved back. He played soulful music and managed to charm the captor. He agreed to let Eurydice go on condition that Orpheus would not look behind. He agreed and began his journey towards the earth, but he was too anxious and impatient to fulfill the condition. He lost Eurydice once again. Orpheus wandered till he was torn to pieces and sang, Eurydice, Eurydice, till the last breath of his life. That is, Orpheus, a romantic character from Greek mythology. Another important key term in the poem is Garud, which has been translated as eagles in English. According to Indian mythology, Garud is an imaginary god with his half body, upper half of birds and lower half of human. He made an agreement with Lord Vishnu that he wanted to be above him, but Vishnu desired to be above Garud. Therefore, Vishnu made Garud his vehicles and put him on his flag. Thus, both becomes above each other. Garud made a vow to destroy all the snakes because his stepmother Kadru, a mother of snakes, had given so much pain to his own mother Vinata. The poem has made use of the images of eagles and snakes as they are Indian myth. At last, the conclusion. It is an anti-lyrical because it replaces the lyrical element of original poem from its opposite. The musical element of Orpheus has been replaced by the cries and the pain of eagles. In the original, we see that the relationship between the ruler of Hades and Orpheus is of pleasure and praised. But in this poem, it has been replaced by the killer and killed relationship of eagles and snakes. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. Keep on watching. Have a nice day.